a little crazy, barricaded himself into his apartment, and they didn't know who else was in there.
A little scary situation. Just hopefully no one got hurt.
A 10-hour standoff with heavily armed ETF officers ends peacefully in this Eglinton and Black Creek neighborhood after a man wanted for a shooting in the city of Brantford barricades himself inside an apartment unit armed with a shotgun. Well, as you can see, the yellow tape is down. Emergency crews have left the scene and residents are back home this hour after a long and tense day. So it was on the third floor of this low-rise building behind me here where police negotiators eventually convinced the man who was considered armed and dangerous to surrender.
There's a cop on the building behind the chimney up there. You can see that too. They're on top of my building.
Officers from 12 Division became involved in an investigation for a wanted party. This individual was wanted in relation to a criminal offense that occurred in another jurisdiction. And officers attended the apartment and learned that the individual was armed with a weapon, a firearm. At that point in time, officers contained the scene and contacted members of the emergency task force, who subsequently arrived and began negotiations with the male.
Our cameras captured the suspect in handcuffs as he was escorted out of the building and into a cruiser just before 2 this afternoon. The 29-year-old has been identified by Brantford police as Chad McCombs. He was wanted in connection with the shooting of a 23-year-old man in that city's downtown core on Wednesday night. A woman Brantford police were also looking for was arrested early this morning. What was it like to see all the ETF officers with their, all the heavy guns and...
They did their job, right, and they did it well, as what I can see. No shots, no one hurt.
Now, residents of this building tell me they could hear police yelling, "Drop the weapon." And for those who live on the same floor as the suspect, well, they were told early in the morning to stay inside their units. And then around noon, they were eventually escorted outside to safety by heavily armed officers. I can tell you that a couple elementary schools in the neighborhood were also put in hold and secure mode as a precaution. And at this point, we're still waiting to hear what charges will be laid.